Growing up in a fishing family, it's just my life. I don't know anything different.
I was raised as a strong, independent woman. I don't know any other lifestyles, so for me it's normal.
I'm proud to be from a fishing family. I think it's an interesting heritage.
It's a great way to raise your kids. I mean, my husband's from a fishing family, and I hope our kids fish.
Businessmen like myself with our little boat, you gotta fish it. You can't afford to really hire a skipper to do it. And if you're running your little business, you can't tie your boat up to go to these meetings.
I dealt with the paperwork side of the boat, and he did the fishery side of the boat. If it wasn't for both of us, I mean, it would be hard for him to be out fishing and deal with everything else.
My husband and I are a partnership in our fishing business, and I do a lot of the work for our business in terms of regulatory issues, appearing before state and federal agencies to represent our interests and the interests of other fishermen. And since we're a highly regulated industry, it's important that one of us stays on top of all the changes, and that's part of what I do as a fisherman's wife.
I wasn't making steady enough money to really make it fishing. It just wasn't working out because it was summer fisheries that I did. And so I got a job building fishing nets. And they said, yeah, that's year-round. It's a full-service trawl shop, net shop. We build fishing nets, shrimp nets, bottom nets, midwater nets. In 28 years, we've grown to be the largest net manufacturing company between Seattle and Mexico.
We buy from around 60 different vessels, most of them here in Newport. We're getting quite popular, so being able to expand was really a great thing as we have this wonderful view of our whole fishing harbor and fishing fleet from the upstairs. It's pretty special. There are not a lot of women that actually are on the boat fishing, but the few that I do know are amazing women.
We bought a boat and I crewed for him for several years out of Pacific City. I would help cut bait, I'd bait the hooks, and we each had a side of the boat when we fished for salmon. It was definitely an experience.
Being a woman fisherman, you have to work twice as hard. And you're working with men that are tall and strong, and you have to compensate for that.
It was the hardest work I'd ever done. I found myself at times not knowing whether I could make it through another day. But it started becoming a way of life for me. I just really found a place for myself where I was more comfortable in my own skin than I had ever been in my life.
Finding my role in my family has been a long process, but none of my brothers have done anything other than fish. My dad's never done anything other than fishing. My mom runs our business.
When I have friends who have husbands that work like 9 to 5, I kind of chuckle because I wouldn't know what that life even looks like. My husband works really hard and we live a very comfortable life, but their job's dangerous. So you kind of put that out of your mind. You don't think about the what ifs.
I was always under the impression that, well, fishermen are gone all the time, so, what's the chances that it would be a good relationship or a solid one? And it is the most solid relationship you'll ever have. And it's kind of nice. You get to miss them, and then they come home again, and you're happy, and they're home, and then they go away, and you kind of have your own life. It's a very independent lifestyle.
I know it's hard for Michelle, especially if the weather gets bad. I'm outside of range, so we can't talk. But she does a lot of work, and I've had her call fish markets up and down the coast to find the price of fish. And plus, she's just a good ear, good person to talk to, and she does quite a bit. She's like the unsung hero.